Lateral to classic bonus.
And then when we're showing you the movements today, kind of also keep in mind like the outline or the structure of how we're presenting this, because when you guys start to present next week, your movements that you're assigned, think about the method behind those things, right? Think about the order of how we're presenting it, the movements, we'll talk about it too, so, but just pay extra attention to those types of things.
Especially on a movement like this that has very, very, like, multitude of parts.
Right, but any movement, it's yours, especially.
Especially.
So, when we start with any movement, we introduce the name. So next up, we're doing something called bonus. There's a regular classic bonus, which we're showing you now, and there's also a reverse bonus. But we want to show you this classic bonus first. It looks like this from Lateral. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and back to basic one. But the idea behind this movement, we described it, we showed it, we named it. Now we described a little bit about what's happening in terms of the setup, just to give people an overall idea. We start with our lateral. Then leaders are going to move away while follows continue the lateral. Boom, boom. We're creating space, and now the leads are inviting the follow to travel down this line. We do a wide circle turn as leads do 2 side basics. Follows are turning down the line to the left. Then at the end, we do a free spin where I let go and invite the follow to turn down on a straight line. Boom, da, da, and we get back into our basic step. Then it gives the full picture of an outline. Since this movement has different steps, completely different steps for leads and follows, we're going to break this down. So all the leads are going to come with me, all the follows are going to go with Elena, and we're going to break down the steps. You would normally split up class, but in this case, you all are splitting it up. You all are learning from each part. Yes? Question?
I'll wait. Sorry.
Cool. So, leaders, let's get started. So, let's start from our lateral step. What we're doing differently is we're going to be moving away to our left after our first lateral. So if we start with our left foot free, we step to the side lateral. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Now, on 5, 6, and, I'm going to step side, cross in front, side, step to the side, cross, and I end all the way with my right foot free. So that'll be on 5, 6, and. Yes?
Okay, sorry, no. I've been maybe overthinking this move, but I noticed so the lead will break their frame when doing side cross side, right? Okay. Because like I'm so used to lateral drill to like heart to heart connection. So when we're just doing there's a breaking of the frame.
Yes, so when we step side, cross, side, we're still aware of our partner going side, cross, side. So if we look towards our partner, that can prevent breaking the frame because it's hard to do this. So it just by saying turning the upper body slightly towards your partner and facing that way. That's something that I wouldn't necessarily talk about right away, but it's more like once you see people do that, we'd address that thing. Yeah. So let's go from our lateral, and then 5, 6, and we're stepping side, cross, side. Ready to the left. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Here we go. And 5, 6, and we're going to end looking to the right because your partner's going to be over there still doing lateral. We're going to have our right foot free with our heel up and our right hand low. Let's try that again. Left foot free. 7, 8. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Here we go. And 5, 6, and everybody look slightly to the right, having your hand low. Very good. At this point, follow is going to be on your right side. You're going to prep this turn with a little bit of a twist and a rotation. So I'm going to extend my hand forward because the shoulders are rotating here. And. So this is an and count. We're prepping the follow's leg to go forward. And it'll make more sense once we do it with the follow. But the idea is that as we rotate our shoulders, the hand comes forward and it lifts just like. Now from here leads the footwork we're going to do is a side basic, which is side, behind. I cross just a little bit in front like that. And then I go side, behind, and I cross and I move my foot just a tiny bit. We use this side basic all the time as leads. So we're going to try a few of them. To the right, side, behind, cross in front. Side, behind, cross in front. Boom, da, da, 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 boom, da, da. You want a really small technical detail. What makes this look nicer is if we take our foot and we just adjust and we move it over here. So rather than going boom, step, step, boom, step, step, if I move the foot over on the third step and I go behind, side, cross, and I adjust in that direction. You can use this for direction change. So side, behind, cross, and move the foot. Side, behind, cross. Side, behind, move it in front. Yes. Boom, da, da, boom, da, da, boom, ba.
Ask what the benefit
ba,
of that is.
Boom, ba. Yes, for the sake of doing the bonus, when you're passing, the follow is passing you, I'm actually gonna go here, I cross, but then I adjust to match the follow as the follow goes past. If I take too big of a step here and I do the side basic and I stay in place, sometimes they're way past you, so then you didn't adjust that little bit, that would have allowed you to have a soft arm. Also for the aesthetic of the dance too, when we end in a cross position like that, this technique for leads and follows we use all the time. For follows, when you finish your turns, boom, you end in that position. Boom, bump, bump. So we use that lateral cross as a reference. If you cross your leg over intentionally, you're doing solchinos, you cross the leg and move it. So that technique we use in several places.
So, when you're doing the cross, you're essentially like stepping behind your heel and then you're moving to be in line with your toes.
Correct.
Okay.
Ah, yep, and then you can over cross as well.
In line with which
So,
rephrase?
what I was noticing is you start the cross with your foot just behind your heel, but then you end up on the same line because your front toes and your back toes are direction. So if I were to flatten out my feet, maybe like this, but with a turnout, it looks like this. This is what creates the most like stable cross.
So now we're gonna try it from our left it out, side cross side, and then we're gonna do two side basics. Ready to the left first. 1, 2, and 3, 4, side cross side, 5, 6, and now to the right side basic. 7, 8, and 1, 2, and. Yes, let's try it again. Side left it out, left foot free. Ready, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, and. Nice. Last time. Normally I'll do this probably 6 or 7 times so that everybody can start to get comfortable. One more time. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and side cross side. 6, and side basic. 7, 8, and 1, 2, and. Very nice. Now let's introduce what's happening with our arm. After we went side, cross, side, you're looking towards your partner. We open the shoulder, then we prep with a little rotation and lift. Then I'm doing a wide turn with your right hand at the same time as you're doing your side basics. The idea is that you're turning, your partner's gonna start on the right side and end on the left side. So you're going side, wide turn, da, da, and then your partner's over here. You're stepping and finishing the side basic. So it goes up and over and then immediately down. And it's a wide turn this direction. Well, let's try the turn now. Leads, we're here. Our right foot's free. We're gonna do our 2 side basics. We prep. And now we do a wide turn. Side, behind, and then bring your arm down. Side, behind, and now you're looking at your partner towards the left. Let's put it all together from our left it out. And 1, 2, and 3, 4. Here we go. 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, and there. Yes. At the end, leads, we want to end with our upper body rotated. Imagine as you were bowling. You had that finishing line, holding the arm out there, extending down the length. So you brought the hand wide and then brought the hand down to look to the left at the end. Let's do the whole little thing. 7, left it up. 1, 2, and 3, 4. We move away. 5, 6, and 7, 8, and bowling. 1, 2, and 3. Yes, good. We should be in a nice, comfortable plie position. from this last part, you're gonna give the lead what we call, the follow a J hook, which means I'm leading towards me to start, and then I'm curving outward this direction. So it's like you're pulling back, but then releasing out to the side. So it makes this little backwards J, candy cane shape. So my right foot's free. I'm gonna step back at the same time I give a slight pull, back and out, 2 steps on the spot. So just watch first. I'm gonna go right foot free, boom, da, da. Now we're ready to reach back and go into the base. Let's try just the ending now. Right foot's free, we go ready, and boom, da, da, and reach, fade, save. Yes, let's try the whole thing now. From the left and out. 7, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, side cross side, 5, 6, and turn, 7, 8, and 1, 2, return, 3, 4, and back to fade, save. Yes, all right, we're gonna try that a few times.
I have
And
a question.
yes,
What should I suggest? How, what, this is, we in month D, E, B, E,
currently is
C.
month C.
We're in month C. Let's say that they've been in A, B already, and they've been, because I feel it, they've been taught bubble situation, and their arm is like, in their body, because they wanna maintain the bubble so hard that they don't wanna compromise
Mm-hmm.
their frame. And so it's like a robot, they don't know how, it's kind of hard
Mm-hmm.
to tell them that they have to compromise in
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah, so during the turn, the connection changes. It's no longer a bubble connection during the turn. So at that point, you can say, hey, actually for this movement, since we're not in the closed frame, all I need is just a connection from your fingertips to keep contact during the turn. And the elbow can move, it can adjust while we're doing a turn. I don't have to keep it in the bubble in that sense, because we're no longer in a bubble, we're not in a closed frame, we're in an open frame. So in this case, when we talk about the connection part, which we'll talk about in a little bit after we do the separate parts, we say for the leads, we prep with the breath, and then we do a really wide turn, but just connecting on the fingertips. Fingertips, 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 bring the hand down, and there's a tiny catch here by curving the fingers but not closing, just the Lego hand grip here. Then we connect, da, da. So it's movable, but we're always connecting in our fingers and our hands for Brazilian Zoo, especially when we have open hand connections like that are not closed frame.
What I'm saying is like, I'm not told, because they go,
Oh, I see, so, that's actually a slightly different point, but for me, at least, I was playing with Jen, I actually still think of it as a bubble, it's just a bigger bubble. The tension shouldn't be there because it's a bubble, that, the bubble idea has nothing to do with the level of tension or forcefulness.
what, and when they try to get their body.
It's,
But I mean, I said, but oh, call the bubble, those I heard so many times,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
so when I think of it is, I am extending the bubble for my entire frame, and I'm actually leading the entire turn with my chest. The arm is just an extension. The level of connection is where the tension comes in, and the strength in the arm, because the leader thinks they need to pull the follow along and help them. So I would just say, start with the lowest amount of tension possible, see if it works. And if you need to give a little bit more, then you can incrementally give more. But you don't need to start with a lot of tension in the arm to create this movement. And I think for foundations, it's a lot to talk about the chest leading the turn. But if you think about it as the intention to move around the follow,
Yeah.
that bubble is constantly traveling rather than it being tense within the spot and forcing the follow.
That's what I use, I just say respect the space
Yeah.
of the follow.
And
a lot of them, I think, aren't using their feet as much as they should. So if you start with the groundwork, then you actually don't have to do a lot with the arm. The arm is creating, do my homework, that's what happened. The intention of bringing the follow along is from the elasticity, which of course is hard for foundations to get, but I would say let them know that it doesn't require a lot of tension to get the follows to know where to go, their body positions, and then using their steps, and creating a bigger bubble and a bubble down the line that's constantly moving will help. At least that's how I see it. I don't know
That's confusing to me, to be honest.
if it is,
Like a bubble and another bubble. Like this makes sense like a bubble, because a bubble is closed.
but not in the
Bubble doesn't change shapes without popping.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so see, we all have different understandings of bubbles. So it might depend on who you're talking to and their understanding of the.
Sorry.
Maybe that's where we can start saying the energy comes from words like that, in that sense.
It's still bubbling, but
Different ways to describe.
the
They're
bubble.
just afraid of the bubble.
The energy
They're
of the
afraid
bubble.
to burst the bubble.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was recently, that talked about not a bubble in the shape, but a bubble in the space of energy. So you wanna create a circular connection. So this is a circular connection. It could be here, it could be here. The size of it doesn't matter, it's just a circular connection that can help all of, like this is all, it's changing the shape, but it's still a circular connection.
Right, which for me, I see that circular, all what you did, but this is linear. You're only creating a circle in that moment when they're right in front of you. Then they're in your bubble, but otherwise it's a linear direction, then circular. So there's different ways to describe it.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if somebody has an image in their mind about a bubble, then they think, oh, okay, that's a bubble. Like this is a closed frame, keeping my frame in this way, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's try.